Welcome, everyone. The time is 7 p.m. The date is March 7th, 2024, and this City Council regular meeting is called to order. We'll do roll call. Councilman John Harvey.
Here.
Councilman Joel Ramon.
Here.
Council President Michael Gregory.
Here.
I'm Mayor Gelland. I'm present. Councilman Sar Gonzalez.
Here.
Councilman Rob Ladd.
Here.
Do note that the whole council is present. We'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
Flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
With that, we're going to move on to public comment. This is a business meeting at the City Council. The city values and welcomes public input on matters of city concern. Please address the council as a whole rather than individual council members or city staff. Council action on items brought up in public comment is limited by the Oregon Open Meeting Law. The council may direct staff to study the matter and reschedule for further consideration on at a later date. Public comment is limited to 3 minutes per person with an optional 2 minutes for council questions and answers. If you wish to address the council, you can come forward to the podium and identify yourself for the record. As I say every meeting, if anybody in this room, council, staff, or citizens feel disparaged in any way by another person, you may get up and leave. Raise your hand if you'd like to be called back, and I will do that. That we do not stop it. It's called freedom of speech. Sorry, that's just the way it is. So with that, is there anybody for public comment?
Good evening. My name is Brian Wagner. I live at 166 East Hemlock Drive in Deer Jervis. Great.
Timer started.
Jervis City Council members, I address you today regarding a matter of great concern that has cast a shadow over the transparency and integrity of our city's governance. This city council, entrusted with responsibility to serve and represent the interest of the community, must be held accountable for their actions. We've witnessed an unsettling abuse of power within this council, exploiting a loophole to wield authority in the absence of a real city manager. The appointment of a manager pro tem, while legally sound for short-term needs, has been used to create an unethical oligarchy within the city council due to the orchestrated power play of most of its members and friends. More troubling is the lack of transparency from the council's chair. While pledged openness during our campaign, the failures to notify citizens of whole truths and not just piecemeal information supporting her and other councilors' desires, coupled with attempts to hinder public attendance at meetings and alter an investigation scope, raise questions about the true motives behind these actions and others. Like only agreeing to meet individuals behind closed doors, to share propaganda material and partial truths with. Real leaders are not afraid to hold regular Q&A answer meetings with all the interested and concerned citizens and parties. This is how to properly promote trust and transparency. The council's claims of unprofessionalism or even criminal behavior by our former chief of police, Mark Chase, and former city manager, Susie Marston, lack concrete evidence. The only thing provided was a one-sided questioning of a few complainants, which from a high-level assessment, using logic and not emotion, appears to be nothing more than disgruntled current or former employees. Months have passed without truth emerging, promoting us to question the credibility of these allegations. If genuine wrongdoing occurred, why has the council not presented valid evidence to support the accusations publicly? Additionally, the recent failure to meet the deadline for charter change adds to our concerns. All the money invested in this effort have become a total waste due to the council's negligence in resolving and filing the necessary papers on time. Our community deserves much better. It's time for the city council to prioritize transparency, accountability, and fairness over self-serving maneuvers that erode trust. Our community deserves better. We, the citizens, demand answers. validated evidence, and the council committed to the values that will make Juris a place we're all proud to call home again. And we hope to have that soon. Thank you.
Thanks. Anybody got anything? Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Next.
Hello, my name is Jason Davis Skinner. I live at 565 East Elm Drive in Jervis. I just have one question to submit to the council in regards to the recent charter change that has been discussed. What are the plans to ensure that the proper training is given to whichever individuals inherit the power for either HR or for the hiring firing power, to ensure that the proper Oregon legal statutes are followed?
Are you done?
Yes.
Wait, just a minute. We'll be talking that on old business, 9 on the agenda, charter change. We'll be scheduling a workshop and we'll be able to answer some questions on that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Next.
Hello, my name is Amy Skinner.
He talks a little louder than you do, but can you push the button, Amy? So I'm getting it. Thank you.
My name is Amy Skinner. I live at 565 East Elm Drive. I also have a question for the council.
I don't think you have to hold the button, just be close to the mic.
Oh, just turn it on.
For those workshops, what can we do for the citizens who work very odd hours? I would love to potentially see if we can try and make one of those workshops on a Saturday so it can be more inclusive to the rest of the citizens. Can we try and aim for that?
Council, got anything?
All I can say is we can take it under consideration, but generally we do it, try to do it at 7 o'clock. And usually in our rules, it states that we do it on the second or third Thursday of every month. If we're gonna have one, that's usually when
We do work around it sometimes because there's so many of us with schedules. I work Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. So when I meet with people, sometimes it's on my lunch hour. It's in the evening. Weekends, I try to be with my family, but I'd be open to it.
Thank you.
Next. Amy, just. Or do you have any hands up that are not hands? Not that I see. Okay. Not hearing any, not seeing any, we'll move on. To our consent calendar, approval of minutes, 1 February 1st, 2024, regular session, 2 February 1st, 2024, executive session, 3 February 20th, 2024, executive session, 4 February 20th, 2024, special session, and the bills list for February 2024. Is there any discussion, council, on any of that? Any questions?
Okay, since there's no questions, then I would like to make the motion to approve our consent calendar as read.
Is there a second?
I'll second
Any discussion? Not hearing any, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it, the motion carries, so moved. Then we'll skip down to 9 because we don't have any committee reports, presentations, or public hearing. We'll go to old business. Budget committee update for possible action to appoint budget committee members. Councilman Ladd and Councilman Gregory were on that committee. Do you have recommendations tonight?
Yes, if Rob doesn't mind, I would like to go ahead and lead on this. Absolutely. Thank you, Rob. Rob and I went over all the applications and have had many discussions. I would like to say, I have read Amy Skinner's application, and at her meetings that she's been coming here, I was very impressed with the questions that she asked. And it looked like, and with her thoroughness of going through all the background before she asked the questions, I definitely, Rob and I both agree we would like to have Amy Skinner part of our budget committee. Also, we went over Lisa Straven's application. We find her highly qualified, and we would like to also have Lisa on the committee. We went over Kathy Harvey's application, and we've got 30 years of payroll experience and budgeting experience there. That's a no-brainer. We would like to appoint Kathy Harvey. One of our other residents, 30 years in the tile company right in here, Ivan, has submitted an application, also another great resume. So we'd like to appoint Ivan Stanley.
What's his last name?
Stanley.
Okay.
And then another one, that the last one we're going to appoint is Doug Lampier. He's shown a lot of initiative and wants to participate, and I do believe he will be considerably well on the budget committee. I spoke with the Barreras, Connie Barrera and her daughter, and they will fulfill their contract with the city, and they will also be on it.
So you want to appoint Amy Skinner, Lisa Stravens, Kathy Harvey, Craig Harvey, Ivan Stanley, and Doug Lampier. Council, is there a motion for that?
Yes, as council president, I'd like to make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? I don't have any problems with it. Some of these people are at every meeting, which I find admirable.
I do have a question. I thought I was on the impression that there was 4.
We're gonna have an alternative because one of the residents that's on it had a death in the family and she's not sure if she'll be up to it, so one will be alternative. That way the place is filled, placeholder.
Thank you.
And I don't care to say who she was. Okay. So, with that being said, all in favor?
Aye.
The ayes have it, the motion carries so moved. Thank you for your participation and being willing to put back into the community. We appreciate it. Next is the charter change. So let's talk about the charter change. Our city attorney is here tonight, and I would like to tell you how that process started. We had a workshop. Prior to that workshop, myself and Ms. Clifton took the charter. We listened to the council and we did what was called redlining. COG, Willamette Valley COG wanted to charge us $8,000. Laura and I did it for free. So we brought the red line changes and we adopted some policies, and in a workshop that all of you should have been invited to, we still had the website up at that time, didn't participate. We are not done with that. We have spent very little in legal fees. There's been a rumor about thousands, and to give me more power, the mayor is not getting any more power than I have right now, which is none. I have no vote. That is a falsehood. It's also false that we've spent thousands. We're just now in the process of sending it to our attorney. Since we did the prelim work on this, it's not going to cost what you've said it is, Mr. Wick. Anyway, so to clear that rumor up, thank you. So, moving on, we would like to schedule another workshop because the human resource question is a good one. We need to get it right. We do not have a person that's human resource. We have hire, fire, and human resource all in one at this time. That is inappropriate. It leaves employees without a fair way to go. It's not a good practice, and we would like to see that changed, but we need to get the language right, Ed? Go ahead.
Yes, Mayor, you did raise this question with me and recommended, we talked about scheduling a workshop for the city to take citizen input as well as council discussion to determine what mechanism can be used to allow it so that employees report to one person, are hired and fired by one person, but there needs to be an alternative person that they can talk to with issues that sometimes arise with employees between them and their bosses. And that can be worked out in a workshop with discussions with the public. Public has good ideas often on these things. So something that works for the city can be found and then brought to the ballot. Probably not until November at this point, but there could always be a special election. There's always cost in there you probably don't want. So running it in the November general election probably makes the most sense. And you can do that without a great deal of difficulty.
So we will be inviting the public tonight. We will be setting a date, so make sure that they know. I think, Roger, we need to kick the can a little bit because we have the budget coming up and stuff. So on the charter, could we shoot for, say, May, June? What do you think?
I say mid-May to mid-June.
Okay, council, what do you think?
I'm just wondering if it shouldn't be.
Would you like to shoot for April, May, 1st of May? Or before,
Sometime in April.
in April?
I agree. I'm really open in April.
Junior, get your schedule out. What do you think? How about you, Rob?
Yep, right.
April 18th.
Ed, that's gonna depend on you too, but you can be with us via Zoom or.
My wife's birthday is in May, and that's the only day that I have to be away.
Okay.
Participate.
Yeah, you might get in trouble with that one, right?
April 18th,
Okay, so what is that day? Is that
Thursday, the third Thursday.
7:00 at night? Would that work for you, Ms. Skinner? You had specifically asked, would you be able to come?
I would be able to. I wasn't necessarily asking for me. I was asking for the parts of the community that don't work normal schedules. I appreciate you asking my feedback. I will definitely be there if that's the day you guys choose. I'm just asking for those that don't have the flexibility that I do.
Right. Well, hopefully everybody can make it. So April 18th, 7 p.m. Okay. 7. And I wish we could accommodate everybody, but we are 6 individuals with 6 very different schedules.
Madam Mayor, but I mean, the state law since the pandemic allows people to submit written materials. They've always been able to do that, or to participate to the extent the video is available. They can call in on their phones as up on the screen here. And so it shouldn't be impossible for someone to participate, at least in writing. And then if they have ideas that the council wants to pursue, they can always arrange for another way to talk to them.
And you know what? I'll invite you to my home. I'll meet with you on my lunch hours. I do work a regular job that affords my bills, but I am willing to meet with the public each and every one of you. So give me a call if you want to kick the can on some ideas that you would like shared. If you can't be here, bring that on your behalf. So, that being said, is there any other discussion on that? The annual citywide cleanup, is April 20th from 8 to 2. Republic Services, Les Schwab, Canby Equipment Rentals is helping this year, and Fernando, is that the fellow's name? We have a guy that's going to help us with the porta potties again this year. He's been very generous, one of our own. Raphael, okay. So I want to say thank you publicly to them ahead of time. And if you guys want to volunteer to help clean up the city and work together, we can always use the patrols going out to other people's house. What we've always done. We did 11 tons last year. Let's see if we can get 11 and a half, maybe 12. And so that's there. Any discussion on that? You guys got any questions? Does the public have any questions on it, Laura?
Cleanup?
Mhm.
So I don't think I've ever participated in that. Is that like city streets or empty lots?
Well, last year, I and some ladies went and picked up garbage out in the 99 area, all the way down in the parks. But we have like a site over here where they bring dumpsters in and out all day, and people drive in and they unload, and Public Works helps, we help, the police help, citizens, we unload people all day long. My husband and some of the guys take a trailer, and like we went out and cleaned up people's yards that are disabled or can't do it themselves. And so it's just a day that we go out and clean up the city. And if you want to come, that would be great.
And this information is given out to the Jervis people, the older people, the people that could benefit from this how?
I guess I'm not understanding that.
Like how is it?
Yeah.
It's for people to bring in our items of garbage that they, have been sitting around their house and they want to bring into the city to be able to.
Yard debris, wood.
That's not what she's asking. She's asking how are you promoting it to the people that can't get it?
Like
besides-
the older people. the
besides social
Hispanic
media.
people, the-
We have posters going out. We've hung some here, and my husband has a stack that will be taken and hanging around the community. We also, I put it on the only page I'm accessible to, which is the community page. And if you guys want to share it, that would be great. Word of mouth, Laura.
Yeah, if you guys got flyers, I can give them to my neighbors. And are they in English? And
We have English and Spanish already. Yes,
yeah.
yes,
If I may,
go ahead.
they're on the front counter.
Okay, I'll take a bunch if it's okay.
I may have to copy some more.
Oh,
yeah. No.
Actually, that's a great idea.
I think
Thank
that's a
you.
really good.
Yeah. And if they want to reschedule a cleanup, like get on a list. So when we start in the morning, like Amy's company is giving us that big trailer this year. Usually it's small ones, so we have like a bunch, but this is a nice sized trailer. We could do a few houses at a time this year. And we do have guys that will go out and actually do the cleaning. So let us know. Go ahead.
Are you still allowing kids from the community to do it to get their community service hours? Because I haven't heard you mention that at all.
Well, we were gonna put a notice out to the school, Nikki. We were just gonna do our regular contacts. Go ahead.
I had a question about stuff that can be disposed of, like the, are you guys, I know last year there was a fee for tires. Is there still a fee for tires or anything like that?
0 this year, just no rims, and I can only take, we don't know how many we'll be able to receive. Last year it was like 35 tires is all they would accept.
Okay.
But, I think it's about 35 or 40, but you can't have rims on them.
I have one more question. I haven't ever been able to participate. We've always had something going on with our family and stuff. Where's the dump site that everything goes to after everything is collected? I'm just curious. I've heard that somewhere here in Jervis, but I wasn't sure where.
On Fifth Street, right over here,
Okay.
back by the textile factory, where the fireworks go up. Right there, Laura. Yes, and they do show up. And David Moreno, the fellow over here, I forgot his first name, he's been told, and yeah, they are so happy to come out and pick up. And if we get a load like that, we can tell them where to go and do. So, yeah, and word of mouth is important because we do have elderly and people that they work on Saturday. They can't be at this. If they give us their address and it's piled up, we will go pick it up. No problem. Okay. Joe?
I think last year we've always had that, the limit of 3 tires for anybody that came in and they had to pay the $2 or whatever for any extra tire that they brought and stuff. That way eliminated everybody coming in with 20 tires and stuff.
That's a good point.
So we have a limit on that.
Talk to Les Schwab again, but I don't even think they're gonna charge us this year, Joe, but to tell people a limit, that's a good idea. Yeah, it is.
You know, in other words, you'll have somebody kind of, I mean, I've seen it in the past. You've seen people come in with 10 or 15 tires and they're.
Yeah, no, then we're at the limit and another family doesn't get
Nobody
it.
else is gonna get the privilege of bringing the tires. They do 2 or 3 that are laying around their house.
Yeah, that's a good point. Amy?
I do love Les Schwab, don't get me wrong. But what are we doing to help support more local businesses? I'm sure has anyone connected with any other of the tire businesses, maybe for future potential or side by side with Les Schwab? That way we can kind of promote our local a little bit more, such as, I mean, I know Canby's not local to Jervis, but I'm still trying to reach out to there to get other benefits here. Millar's Tires in Canby does a lot of generous gifts like this as well.
Well, that's it. See, that's what we mean by the public coming. That's the way we can hear that. What was their name?
Millar's,
And they would help us even though we're so far away, you think?
potentially,
Okay.
potentially,
Well,
but they're a small business.
I'm not afraid to ask, so I'll give them a call. Thank you.
Yeah, we thought.
Benavides and, yeah, the thing is it costs money to dispose, but yeah, the Benavides, I went to school with Conde. Maybe I'll stop by there too. That's a good idea. I never really thought about it.
They can increase the price or, you know.
Yeah, well, that's it too. It costs them to dispose, so it's really a generous gift that they give. Yeah. Miss Ladd?
It is for Jervis residents only, is that correct?
That is correct. It's for our village.
Be careful.
And we do ID. We have some ladies, like Miss Reese has done it before. Linda, you've done it last year, and Kathy, and we do ID. That way.
Put that on the signage too.
Laura, do you have that?
Yeah, I just.
Yeah.
Yeah, it says Jervis.
Yeah.
It says City of Jervis annual cleanup is what it says.
Nikki?
We had something the other about ID.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're doing this, where you're saying celebrate Arbor Day. Now, another thing, that we've had for what, 13, 14 years now, is we've been a Tree City USA. Were there or are there, any communication to get the trees that we used to get to take into the kids?
I haven't reached out yet, Nikki. I've been busy. It's on my radar.
It's
Why do you
usually
want to
done
help
within
with
the
that?
month. I
Yeah.
don't care. I don't know, but
Okay.
it's usually done in the same month. And that's what keeps us current. Otherwise, they take that sign down. and move
Yeah.
that. We've had it for too long.
Thanks. Thanks for the heads up on that. Okay, anybody else? On the cleanup? I just hope we can see everybody out there. Let's work together and make our community beautiful. It is anyway, but let's spruce it up, help our neighbors. Thank you. Next is new business. We don't really have any that right at the moment, but we're gonna move to the staff reports to Lieutenant West.
Good evening. We go on February 2024 council report. Calls for service, 131, arrest 1, traffic citable offenses 26, traffic warning, written warnings 27, assist agencies outside of city limits 2, assist agencies inside city limits 22. Dare graduation on Wednesday, February 27th. We had a dare graduation at Jervis Elementary School for the entire 5th grade class. It was a great group of Jervis students that were involved in the lessons and very thoughtful and caring, and had very thoughtful and caring remarks. This week I started the 10-week program with Sacred Heart School. They'll be having a DARE class also. We'll be looking forward to DARE officer training classes to send some of our officers to in the near future. So we have some more certified DARE officer instructors. Officer Camacho has been doing great in the schools, having positive interactions with the students and staff. Officer Dryden has also done some mentoring with students at the middle school during her work weeks. We have had a couple of late night calls out for police staff has responded when needed. All staff in the Jervis Police Department have been very helpful and supportive during this awkward time we have been in. They have done their best to keep good, positive attitudes and try to provide the best service in the community they could. Police officer positions will be posted. We've got some more information from other agencies to adapt and change some of our application. I've already been contacted by certified officers from other agencies, from other the chiefs that have actually reached out and said they had people apply that were interested, but they'd already closed their process. So they sent them our way. So that's hopeful. That's all I have.
Do you have any questions on council? Kyle, you're up.
Yeah, you don't mind me touching real quick on the Tree City. I was able to get our city's application turned in time and it has been accepted. We just received our package just last week, so we'll be seeing the new plan. Yeah.
And you know what? I remember the email between this and I had surgery on Monday. I'm doing the best I can. Okay.
Go ahead. Sorry. Thanks, Kyle.
Basically, the biggest story was the month of January. At the water plant, we recorded almost 15 inches of rain. So everybody was well aware of that, standing water everywhere. Created some operational challenges at the wastewater plant. We did have to install and use our emergency bypass pump. It takes a lot of thought to actually consider using that because it does short circuit our treatment and puts us at risk of being out of our permit levels. Fortunately, testing proved that that was not the case this time. So such a short period of time. So that's a relief there. Then on February 13th, we had our pre-construction meeting with RG Construction for the wastewater treatment plant upgrade. All parties were there. It went real smooth. Worked out a lot of logistics as far as work hours as to not disturb any of the surrounding residents with noise and everything there. They had anticipated bringing their equipment in starting last week. It's postponed. They started moving in equipment earlier today, so we anticipate breaking ground hopefully in the first part of next week, which is great. There had been an idea floated up, with Roger and a few other people. This is kind of a big deal for the city of Jervis. Probably the biggest project since this building was built. It'd be a great opportunity to do a kind of a groundbreaking photo, or once construction started, have the council, mayor, staff, everybody, it'd just be kind of neat to get together.
I have the gold shovels. No, I did. I'll get them.
We have actually from groundbreaking on one of the parks, lots of gold shovels as well.
Nice.
It is a construction site, so PPE is required. We have ordered some additional hard hats, safety vests. We probably wouldn't want to do it during active construction, so open to ideas as far as when we could arrange that.
Is that next week, you said?
They're just bringing in equipment now, so.
Okay. Are they excavating yet?
No, I imagine they'll be breaking ground next week, weather permitting. I'll keep everybody in touch as far as the status where we're at. City Hall needed some maintenance around. We had the flag light was, apparently had been burnt out, and it was pointed out by a citizen to me. So we investigated that. The actual light itself, the fixture had been leaking water and had burnt. So it was replaced, miscellaneous painting and chips in the wall. The building's getting up there in age already. Seems like it's new. And touch on the back trailer. We've been using it a lot. We were able to install 2 water services about 2 weeks ago. And I just kind of keep a running tally of approximately how much it's paid for itself. We're close to 25,000 in paybacks already, which is great. And then lots of construction projects going on around town, as well as proposed. We're getting several sets of plans, it seems, every week. Some of these have created some very unique situations as far as land use. So Roger and I are looking at bringing in some assistance from the Hawks to guide us through there and help us moving forward. And last update, the water plant generator, the part that we had talked about, they finally gave us an anticipated build date of March to April.
This year?
Of this year, from when it was ordered in September. So it's good news, and that's all I have.
Good things come to those that wait.
Well, thank you. You guys are doing such a great job. I've seen the guys out working today. You guys are like the heart of the city. Thank you.
One other thing with the city cleaner, both the employees plus myself, I've made some changes so that I can be there, but we will be full staff for the city cleaner. Great. With the generous donation of the dump trailer, we'll use the city truck to pull it around and offer services to go pick up stuff that is ready to be picked up. We don't want to go out and clean. If they have it there at the end of the driveways, easy to access, we can just keep going all day.
Thank you, Kyle. Also, my signs that I laminated for us last year, do we still have those, or do I need to make you some new ones?
I'll have to run by, they were all put in the same spot. We should still have those unless they were damaged by any rain last year.
If you don't, let me know and I'll run them on the plotter and do those. Okay.
I'd just like to say that last year there were some donations made for a barbecue for the workers that came over from Republic Services. And if anybody would like to donate, they'd be welcome.
Yeah, we had like a barbecue for them for all the help. So, yeah, and the volunteers last year we did pizza. So if I can get a head count on anybody that's going to be out there for lunch, we'll get some pizza for you guys too, kids or anybody. It's a fun day. It's work, but it's fun. Roger, you're up.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. We've had a busy week and a busy month. 2 grants that we had some difficulties with. One of them was a FEMA grant for the generator out back, the $30,000 grant. There was another one with the U.S. Department of Justice, which was a COPS grant to buy equipment with. That's $125,000. The bad part about this, there's good and bad. The bad part was a lot of reporting with one of these grants going back 3 years with no reporting that was required. We almost had to pay back $155,000 on these 2 grants. However, the good news is the FEMA grant is settled. We're not going to have to pay back the $30,000. And the DOJ grant, they're working with us. And they have given us a reasonable deadline to get the reporting done. So that's $155,000, and it's not going to be leaving the bank for those purposes.
So reporting wasn't done like the monthly stuff they need, or for how long?
3 years on the DOJ grant.
The COPS grant.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for catching that.
On the fund side of things, our new website is going to go live next week. It didn't go live this week because our project manager with the company that did the website was not going to be available. I didn't want to launch without having a safety blanket in case something went bad. So that's why we delayed it a week. They're going to be back in their office on Monday and we're going to light it up. There is a program that is sponsored by the Oregon Association of Police Chiefs. It's called the Linebacker Program. And what it's designed to do is to help cities that are in a transitional state in their police departments to basically do an audit, help us get up to speed on what best practices are for procedures, and mentor personnel. We have been very lucky. We've been put in contact with the chief of police of City of Philomath. His name is Ken Rubin. He's going to retire in mid-April, and he's going to be available to help us out with this transitional period. He's got 35 years in law enforcement. About 15 of that, he was head of the Oregon State Department of Justice Criminal Investigation Unit. Had 35 investigators reporting to him. He's been involved in a number of volunteer boards, and it comes highly recommended. And he has, as of this afternoon, I got an email from him, very complimentary of Tim West. He's agreed to engage with us to do this project. We're going to meet with him next week. He's going to have a syllabus ready for us as far as what the steps are, and we'll come to a financial agreement. He will be paid hourly. What else is fun to talk about? For council's edification, we talked a while back about a matrix for internal controls. I'm going to present that to you for your review for the next council meeting. It's within an hour or so of being completed. And that's pretty much my report.
And this chief of Lomas has standard operating procedures that we haven't had. He's going to bring them over with him and set us up.
Yes, he's agreed to bring, he's got a whole set of things, basically from soup to nuts. And it'll be something that we may have part of it now, but this is going to be the complete set. Everything we're going to need.
So we'll have something to follow from here on.
Yeah.
Okay. And Roger's been working on standard operating procedures in the front office. We had absolutely none. Like the break glass thing. If, we would have had a city administrator just get in a car wreck, not here anymore. We didn't have not one thing to go on. And now we've built some of that and it's being put into place. And that way we can go forward in any situation. We're cross-training people. I think it's been good. Roger has a review coming up. We will schedule that with him and we'll let you know. It's going to be executive, but now we're at mayor and council. And I might ask you to help me with this a little bit. Our charter 33H says that if we don't have a city manager, we have to have a pro tem. We have not been without a pro tem. We first had John Morgan that was recommended by our old city manager. A week before he, week left of his contract, we weren't real happy, so he resigned. And we appointed Roger immediately. We've had a pro tem this whole time, which by law we're supposed to do. Then in 33D, it says that as soon as practicable, something like that. Well, and what's that law about, in the construction of our charter, number 5, under construction powers, it says it's to be liberally construed. And the way we construe it is, we're not going to settle or just settle for anybody. We want to make sure the person that we put in this permanent position is the right fit. So Ed, how does that apply?
The only arbiters of this or people who review city council's work are judges' courts. And so when courts look at how city councils interpret their charters and ordinances, they give great deference to your construction of what something means, because it's your job to implement it, adopt it, and oftentimes you personally may have written it. So you should know what it means. You have the cultural history of the city, so you should understand it. So the name of the case involved is Saporin. And so we call it Saporin deference, lawyers do. And basically it says that as long as the city council, they used to say that as long as it's a reasonable construction, but people can differ as to what's reasonable. So it's, 10 years ago or so when the Saporin case came down, they say whatever the city council does in its interpretation has to be plausible. It can't be contrary to the words, but as long as it's not contrary to the words of the charter, then it's probably going to get upheld. So when you're supposed to, for example, appoint a new city manager as soon as is practicable, well, the word practicable can mean possible, but it can also mean practical. And depending on how it's used, it's kind of a vague term. So how you interpret it is how you interpret it. And, anybody who comes back on court later, if somebody were to challenge what you're doing, they would give great deference to you as long as you could say, we talked about it, we thought about it, and we decided to do it this way. As long as it's rational and halfway reasonable, it's going to be upheld.
So we're not doing anything wrong.
Not as far as I can tell.
We're trying to make sure we get a good fit for us, Jervis. This is a position of a lot of power in our city. We've just given everything. So let's make sure it's the right person for us citizens and for our city, and make sure the person's happy with us too before we lock into that. That's where we're at. That's our thought process. What we feel is practical is a probationary period, which we gave the first one. Roger's giving one. He might not want us. I don't know. I'm just saying that we're doing the best we can to find the best fit for you, Jervis. That's the true story.
So hopefully that's expressed. Yes, Nikki.
So it's been what, 9 months, something like that, that we've had our pro tems. Mind you, I was on council for quite a while too. And I remember it saying that you want to fill that position as potentially soon as you possibly can. But it seems like, along with a lot of other things that are going on lately, everything is being stalled, which gives you guys on the council more power. And, to make your changes, to hire and fire, that was relevant or evident with the chief. So, I'm just wondering how long do you plan to keep an interim that you say can't really make a lot of choices to hire and fire, right?
He just talked about contracting with the chief of police. We didn't have anything to do with that. Go ahead, Ed.
If I may respond, just my personal involvement in a number of cities is that there's a company named Prothman that is used by lots of cities as an agency that finds city managers, city attorneys, and other folks for cities. It's probably the biggest one in Oregon, Washington, Idaho, in the area. They can't find enough qualified people to fill all of the vacancies that exist right now in both city manager and city attorney positions. There's the baby boomers are retiring and retired, and there's not a lot of people who have stepped up to those positions. I'm not saying they're not there, but I'm not saying the city council may not be stalling it. They may be. I have no indication about that, but you may feel that way. But
are you a new attorney? Because you're not the one we've seen first.
no, well, actually, Peter and I are partners.
Okay.
I came in and was the person who was here in September, I believe, when the city decided to hire my firm. So, and I was the person who was contacted. Peter is an employment lawyer. That's his specialty area. I'm much more generalist. I do much more, everything from public records to public meetings to real estate development by cities. I do one of my cities that I work with a lot is Troutdale. We had to negotiate a deal with Amazon for this huge, just like the plant up here, across the way. Same sort of deal, and we had to negotiate those contracts. I do a much more general, broad area. Peter's an employment, and I don't claim to be an employment specialist. I try
No,
not
I
to.
just wanted to clarify, because
Yeah.
I hadn't seen you prior.
Jordan Remus is the same as Barry in the top 3. They are highly recommended, and they have specialists for different areas. And so it's no different than what we had before. At firm. So that being said, I just, go ahead, Lauren. The one guy came in at 6 months, or yeah, from June to December, and that's typical. And if Roger decides he doesn't want to, or we decide, you know, we want to work on this or that, or see a little more, it's not unheard of. In other cities, Hubbard took 2 years to find the right person. They love her. They absolutely love her. And he's not in any hurry, and he's doing a fine job for us. We're not out of control. The chief thing he can do, he's doing the city manager job. We listen to him. So it's just far-fetched. It's people's interpretations without knowledge. That's really, really sad. So anything you want to ask us, please come. And don't just, it doesn't get us anywhere for all this hate that's going on. If you want to ask me something, come see me at lunch. I have to work. I have to pay my bills, but I will meet with you. I've had people over to my home in the last week. I have no problem answering questions. I just don't have all the time in the world. Yes, Mr. Wagner.
I find it unique that you keep offering everybody to come personally, individually, where as a group, a city works better and learns better by actually public meetings and Q&As, actually talking everything. Your idea of the charter, I can understand. There need to be changes. The thing about 2 people in the household, I completely agree. They should not be on the council together. I'm telling you right now. Well, it comes down to it. This city was never polled. These residents know anything about the charter change that you guys want to make, you want to make. And now all of a sudden it's coming out because it was found out about. And it's like, oh, we'll have a workshop. I understand what you're saying, but guess what? You need to stop, all of you need to stop doing the individual talking. This is about the city as a whole. We all need to hear it at the same time so we can debate, cross-examine, and talk about everything together so everybody learns together at the same time.
I mean, like you're doing right now.
This is the first time this has happened.
You know what? Because y'all came. There's meetings every single month. That workshop on the charter, 2 of them. Where were you? It was on the thing. I'm just saying, I'm not going to get confrontational.
Since this charter workshop's coming up the 18th, and now people are aware of it, decided not just hiding on a door, okay? I might suggest the council consider getting a larger venue. Because I guarantee you, this room will not be enough to hold all the people that want to come to discuss the charter change.
You know, I'll have to think about that, Brian. Where do you suggest?
Or suggest the school, you know, if you go ahead and provide event insurance, event insurance to them, they're more than willing with the big enough space to help you out.
Well, thanks for the input. We'll take it in consideration. Council comments, anybody? No? But this is what I mean. If you show up, we'll talk to you. I have no problem. One more.
I just had a quick question on, we're doing the April 1 for the charter, but is there another workshop coming up?
18th.
The 18th for a water meeting? I mean, that's been a big thing too. A lot of us are concerned about that because PG&E is wanting to increase that percentage again. So, I mean, the water would be a really good one to address soon too.
Our closings on bills were not taken care of since like May, and they're up to October now. So we're getting our monthly closings done. And once they're caught up, then we'll know where our finances, I mean, we're not destitute.
Oh, I'm not.
I know, but we haven't scheduled it due to that. We'll probably schedule it at the April meeting. for the next workshop, okay?
Also,
Go ahead.
people are able to come and sometimes family issues occur. You gotta take that into consideration. This town, I mean, there's, what, 30 of us here maybe tonight, maybe more if people didn't have something occur. We're going into sports season. I mean, you
Yeah.
gotta look at the community as a whole too.
Well, and we have the teams available,
So if
so,
you don't have internet at a sporting event,
yeah. Well, you know, we're doing the best we can with our own schedules and we're trying to lead with the time that we have. And we're sorry we can't accommodate everyone's schedule. So mark your calendars and try, I guess. Okay, with that being said, the meeting is adjourned at, go ahead.
Oh, you did say, sorry, that was the last one, but I think I mentioned this before, you know how we get the water bill? And there's always like a space there. I don't know, that's just space that can be.
Maybe look at that for our meeting, Shmi. Well, our new website's gonna go up too, and it's nice.
Because everybody gets that water bill.
I know,
Yes.
like she just said, not everybody has internet.
Especially in the
Our seniors
Hispanic
don't.
community, we don't use internet too much.
That and we can talk to the phone company. So with that, the meeting is adjourned at 7:56 PM.